This is QTV News broadcasting from the Gambia, and I am Jenna Basonko. Our top stories. Gambia celebrates 54th independence anniversary. Civil society organizations hold national conversation. Information Minister urges media houses to remain credible. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. Stay with us. Gambians from different walks of life on Monday gathered at the McCarthy Square in Banjul to celebrate the 54th independence anniversary since the Gambia gained independence from British rule. The event was presided over by President Adama Barrow, who calls on Gambians to positively participate in national development. Aliou Cisse has the rest of that story.
The journey to Gambia's independence on 18 February 1965 was not a smooth one. The day is used to reflect on how far the country has come as an independent nation. In addition, it is also used to pay homage to late Edward Francis Tumol, who pioneered the struggle for independence, together with his colleagues such as Reverend Jesse Faye of the Democratic Party, I.M. Gaba Jahumpa of Muslim Congress Party, Per Esnyai of the United Party, and First Prime Minister and President of the Gambia, Sadauda Kairaba Jawara of the People's Progressive Party. Their sacrifice is still a source of inspiration for the current generation to continue, redirect and refocus the struggle for total political and socio-economic liberation. The 54th independence anniversary was held at the iconic McCarthy Square, a place that hosted the lowering of the Union Jack flag, ending decades of British rule. The event saw the decoration of 90 security personnel for what is called their sacrifice to provide security to Barrow during the political impasse. President Barrow says the day provides the nation the opportunity to reflect on the successes and progresses since the attainment of nationhood. The National Day, he added, also provides an opportunity to hold the government in office accountable to the people.
Independence carries multiple meanings and significance to us as a nation. It is not simply about self-rule and freedom from foreign domination, but most importantly, it is about freedom of thought and action, leading to our growth and progress as individuals, families, communities, organizations, and as a nation.
Barrow, who was speaking as the country's third president since independence, also calls on Gambians to participate positively in national development.
We have learned also that independence rests on working with responsible leadership that allows for diversity, choice, and acting on correct decisions. The underlying objective is for all citizens to engage in nation building as a united force. This is the environment that my government has now created for Gambians.
He pleaded with Gambians to reject all forms of socio-political discrimination disguised as nationalism.
To be patriotic citizens, contributing effectively to nation building. It is vital to undertake or engage in independence, critical and constructive thought and action, grounded in sincerity, honesty, and desire to improve living conditions in the country. The reclamation of our freedom should equip us to redefine nationhood and patriotism as genuine Gambian nationals.
Despite being an independent country politically, the Gambia continues to depend largely on foreign aid for its socio-economic development. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
As the Gambia marks 54 years of nationhood on Monday, civil society organizations and activists came together for what they called national conversation. The dialogue is organized to reflect on the past and chart a better future for the nation. Mamadou Gajaga was at the Westville Youth Monument, and here is his report.
For any nation to move ahead, it must reflect on the past, assess the gains in order to shape the future. Gambia is a small country surrounded by Senegal on all three sides. There were skepticisms if this country could stand on its own when it gained independence from Britain in 1965. There are still questions if we had the progress that we desired, whether our founding fathers had done enough to put solid structures in place.
We had a balance of trade which was always in surplus. When I see published in papers about ground of trade, and some years ago I read that, we have we have a record harvest of 48,000 tons. I just laugh because Gambia was exporting on the average up to, in the First Republic, around 150,000 tons a year. This was the average export of granules from this country.
The First Republic had been praised for building strong institutions, and the Gambia was arguably a model for the rest of West Africa in terms of vibrant civil service.
The challenge was the Gambian people felt they can manage their independence, and they set out to prove this. And I think the First Republic has substantially demonstrated this ability. We were able to take this country to a level which has never been experienced before it, and also poses a standard which so far we have not been able to reach.
It was also argued that state resources were used for their intended purposes and not lavish spending as experienced in the Second Republic between 1994 and 2016.
What were the elements that helped us during this period? Sound management, rule-based system, and strict adherence to policies that were evolved by government through the democratic process and put in place for everybody else to follow, including the Prime Minister and later on the President. I will tell you a story. I have listened to some of these witnesses testify in the Janneh Commission, for instance, where it was said, even by text messages, you could instruct some people in the central bank to disburse funds. To me, that's an impossibility. And I'm sure Mr. Tal did not sleep the night he had that, because it could not be thought about between the period 1965 to 1994. No. I can remember a situation where I went to the Treasury to follow a voucher to pay me certain things. And another voucher was brought because the wife of the president then was to travel on a private mission. The principal accountant at the Treasury just took his red pen and cancelled the voucher and said, but you know, she's not entitled to this, she's not an employee of the state, she's not a civil servant. When she travels with the president, that is the time we pay allowance. When she goes on a private trip, that's her business. Government has nothing to do with it. Could anybody have imagined something like that between 1994 and 2017?
The young people are the future leaders of the country, most of them wearing T-shirts bearing "The Gambia We Want." What future do they envisage for this country?
We want to see a Gambia whereby people are empowered, most especially the young people. You know what I mean? The Gambia whereby still, Gambia is at 54, could you imagine still now we are importing eggs? And we have a lot of young entrepreneurs in this country who we can support to give them all the necessary funding that they want, and they can do good, and then we can move this country together.
Well, that we desire, I always say this, our problem in the Gambia is not the absence of human resources. Our problem is we lack the adequate human capital to move our country forward. And we can only get that when we invest heavily in mobilizing resources, which I mean human resources as well, to be able to put those little things together, the skills, knowledge, and the potentials of this great country that the youth particularly have. I think that would be enough to propel our country to the level that we all desire.
I would say peace, I would say development, I would say change, I would say especially change in attitudes, I would say change in mindset. And then there is a lot that we want in a new Gambia, and I don't think I can say that in one word, but yeah, we are looking forward to a great future, to a very bright future, inshallah.
The debate on whether we underachieved or fairly did well since independence will continue without any answers. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Media outlets continue to emerge in the Gambia with a view to strengthening democracy and helping citizens to make informed choices. The latest media outlet in the Gambia is the Chronicle. It is an online medium that intends to safeguard freedom of expression, liberty and accountability through professional journalism. The editor-in-chief of the Chronicle, Shirif Bojang, said the Chronicle is motivated by a desire to consolidate the Gambia's democracy.
The Chronicle is focused on in-depth form of reporting, investigative journalism, and human interest stories. First, their idea is to set up or invest their resources and energy and time on a media platform that will not just report what politicians, people in the power, corridors of power say or don't say, but something that will give perspective, that will give panoramic view of everything that is said, everything that is happening, the policies, the programs, and go beyond just what is said in conference centers, in offices, and in things like that. It also is aimed at celebrating the Gambia, the diversity of the Gambia. If you look at it, what we have today, most of the time, media coverage is largely based around the urban areas, around the greater Banjul area. So with Chronicle, we hope and we seek to cover the country, every part of the country. Every story matters to us. Every human interest, every Gambian story matters to us. And hopefully, as we kick off, you'll see more coverage of the Gambia in different perspectives.
According to Bojang, the Chronicle would not be used as a propaganda tool against former President Yahya Jammeh, considering Chernonjai's financing of the alleged December 30th attempted coup in the Gambia. The Minister of Information, Ibrahim Asila, said the Chronicle is an added advantage to the media landscape of the Gambia, as it is part of efforts to deepen our democracy. He further explained that the more media outlets we have as a country, the better for citizens to make informed decisions.
And the government of the Gambia is committed to media pluralism. That is why we have losing the tight licensing regime, so that, yes, media houses will be robustly vetted, but we want to make sure that, an opportunity is given to Gambians to invest in the sector so that more employment could be generated. Because you know that the University of the Gambia is currently, doing a lot of training for, journalists. We believe that in the next few years, more journalists will be graduated from the University of the Gambia, and a market has to be created for these people. So therefore, it is an ample testament to the commitment of the Gambia government to have an opportunity for the media, but also Gambians to be employed in the sector. And that is why, we are also very happy about the opening of the Chronicle newspaper.
He stressed that it is not the responsibility of the government to police the media, but it is the responsibility of the media to remain credible and relevant. 2 medical doctors have returned from a 3-month training on infertility in India through Her Excellency Fatoumata Barbara Foundation in collaboration with the MEC Foundation. The duo has been sharing their impressions upon arrival at the Banjul International Airport, where they were received by Betty Sen, Senior Logistic and Communication Officer to the First Ladies Foundation. Here is an excerpt.
I work as a registrar at the Califine General Hospital in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology. We were able to go to India through the First Ladies Foundation with the help of Mark Foundation. You will be aware that Mark Foundation is the philanthropist arm of the Mark Pharmaceutical Company. And they're trying to help African countries in terms of infertility, cancer, which is a burden on our women. So for that being the case, they started with capacity building, which is one of the most important things. And then making sure that we go and have the people with the capacity first before you do anything. And that's what we have started. On the whole, we were 3. 2 of us were clinicians in infertility. 1 female is done doing oncology, but the one is going to be 1 year. She'll come back after 1 year. So we want to thank the First Lady and the Mark Foundation very much for giving us this opportunity to go to India. We were in #1 fertility center in India for 3 months, and we have learned a lot of things about infertility. We hope we will be able to implement a lot of things back home here when we come. We want the government support in terms of making sure that there are availabilities of instruments, availabilities of drugs that we will need in terms of managing infertile patients. Also, we want to continue to appeal to the First Lady for this very good gesture to continue.
My name is Dr. Mamadou T. Nyasi, a senior medical officer working at Banjul General Hospital in the area of obstetrics and gynecology. First of all, I want to thank the Almighty Allah for making this program a success. I'm indeed happy and humble for obtaining another level of achievement in my professional career. This achievement could not have happened without the full support from the Office of the First Lady in collaboration with Mark Foundation. Therefore, I must first of all thank the First Lady, Madam Fatmata Barrow, for her tireless efforts to make sure that the program we have undergone became a success. It is indeed a very successful day. The program was very intensive in the area of advanced assisted reproductive techniques. It's a technique that help to achieve pregnancy, from women who are suffering from infertility-related program. It is indeed a sad moment because in our society in the Gambia, when we talk about infertility-related problems, women carry the highest burden, not knowing that almost 40% of infertility-related problems are also male-related.
Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of the Gambia, Madam Fatoumata Barrow, and her foundation are very particular about health. And for that reason, us sending these doctors to India to go and study is a great achievement to our foundation. Because the foundation has health initiatives, so this training is part of something that we have achieved under that initiative to complement the efforts of government in the area of health. To the Minister of Health, I'm going to say a big thank you to them for the great collaboration. To the doctors, I'm going to say congratulations for your patience. And I hope what you have learned from your training, you can implement at your different hospitals and then share with your colleagues in your different hospitals as well.
Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital on Friday received a donation of medical items worth $25,000 from the American International University in collaboration with Project CURE based in the United States of America at a presentation held at the hospital in Banjul. Omar P. Jallo was there at the presentation ceremony and he now reports.
Speaking at the presentation, the Senior Public Relations Officer of the hospital, Modlamin Jammeh, described the donors as partners in development, whose aim is to boost the Gambian's health sector by improving the maternity ward at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital.
The Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and the American International University has been partnering for many years now in the fields of medicine and allied health sciences. Because of that, today they are here to make a donation, a very genuine donation, that will help our patients, the staff, and the students. I will not say much about the list. Dr. Tal will make mention of that. But the cooperation has been growing from strength to strength, especially when Dr. Tal has joined the university now. Today we are witnessing this very important presentation.
Handing over the donated items on behalf of the university, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Dr. Makital, said the donations was part of the university's contribution toward boosting the health sector of the Gambia by supporting the maternity ward in particular at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, and expressed pleasure for the donation.
We value what is rendered to us by this hospital. Our collaboration is very important and we need it to be very well strengthened. And what we are doing today, it will in fact strengthen this relationship, because we know the hospital, it requires resources. Government cannot do it alone. It requires partners and other parties to come in and support this vital hospital, our only teaching hospital in the country. So this is really why we are here, and then we are doing our quota in terms of supporting this hospital, this very important hospital. We are very sure that these items that we've displayed here will go a long way in averting the dire conditions that we have in our health sector, which the Ministry of Health, together with the CMD here, they are working very hard to avert those conditions. So we are very happy, like I said, to be part of this process and to be able to bring these important items and then donate it to the hospital, which we are very much sure that it will be put into very good use.
He said the university is out to support the less privileged, especially the maternity ward, while assuring the management of the hospital that more items are in the pipeline to boost the health sector of the Gambia. The Director of Human Resource and Administration at the hospital, Malang Dong, commended the donors for their kind gesture. He said the donation was long overdue, as the items would address some of the needs and aspirations of the hospital, as this is the only referral hospital where much of the cases are referred to, and assured the donors that the donated items would be properly used for the intended purpose.
These are very useful because the American University and the Edmund Francis Small Teaching Hospital are all in the same business, which is wellness, taking care of patients, and that they actually know what we need. So the donated items are really needed in this hospital, as you can all see. These are surgical items that will greatly help to improve surgical services in this hospital, and that will also be used in the training of our health personnel, doctors, nurses, and the same thing the American University is doing. They are also training people, our health professionals of this country, and they are sent to this hospital for their practical training. So the donated items will also be used to help develop the skills of these young ones.
The donated items include gloves, disinfectants, sirens, buffalo caps, chest tubes, urinary bags, irrigation sirens, scrub brush, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Before we end this news bulletin, let's recap our main headlines. Gambians from different walks of life on Monday gathered at the McCarthy Square in Banjul to celebrate the 54th independence anniversary since the country gained independence from British rule. The event was presided over by President Adama Barrow, who calls on Gambians to positively participate in national development. As the Gambia marks 54 years of nationhood on Monday, civil society organizations and activists came together for what they called a national conversation. The dialogue is organized to reflect on the past and chart a better future for the nation. That's all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Happy Independence and thanks for watching.